Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm B, this is the Beehive Paddock, where I talk all things MotoGP. If you like the video, leave a like. If you want to stick around and get more content, subscribe and hit that notification bell. I post videos weekly, sometimes they're scripted, sometimes they're unscripted, stuff like this, MotoGP history. You're getting a good variety, a good dose of MotoGP content straight to your subscription feed. Today I got a comment, oh my gosh, I forgot to look at the comment, but I'll put it on screen. I got a comment asking if I could do this, and I thought, wow, that's actually a really good idea because I have some low-key weird MotoGP circuit takes. Hey everyone, Editor B here, just popping in to say a couple of words real quick. I know this has already been a long intro, so I'll try and keep it short. First of all, I'm happy to announce the Beehive Paddock 2024 MotoGP Awards. This is going to be a community award show with some more like fun categories, and it's going to be voted on by you, the fans. So if you go down into the description, there will be a Google form where you can vote for your favorite, best, whatever moments. The categories will be all in there, and then in a future video I will announce all the results. Thank you in advance for taking part in that. Second of all, I didn't notice this until I was editing, but Aragon just wasn't on the tier list for some reason. I used a template and it just wasn't there. But just so you know, I think Aragon is a pretty good track. It's above average. I like the long straight, love the reverse corkscrew. Yeah, those are my general thoughts. It would go in the above average tier right near the top of that. And you'll know what all that means in a second. Anyway, that's all from me. Enjoy the video. Back to you, Past B. So I wrote every track from the 2024 calendar onto a slip of paper, and I put them all into my pink Mercedes-Benz hat. And we're going to draw them out one by one. I'm going to talk, give my thoughts about them, and then put them on the tier list. Don't expect a super in-depth analysis because I don't want this video to be super long and we've got 22 tracks to get through. Before we get into it, let's explain the tiers and what they mean. At the top, we obviously have the Stefan Bradl tier. I don't have to explain this. He's the GOAT. These are for the GOAT tracks. I'm going to limit myself to 3. I don't actually know. I'll say 3 because I think 3 will be challenging for me to keep myself to just 3 in the top tier. Below that, we have the Incredible tier. These are tracks that produce incredible racing or have some sort of feature on them that makes them unique and very fun to watch. You look forward to these tracks, or at least I do. Below that, we have Above Average. These are tracks that are good, but I don't really look forward to them super much. I look forward to the race more than like, oh, that's a good track. This is a track. The motorcycles go around the track. They pass each other. I like it when that happens. Below that, we have Kinda Bad. These are tracks that are kinda bad. Like, they're not terrible, but I don't know, I'd rather watch something else, you know? And then below that, we have HRC 2024, which is reserved for a particular track. I'll tell you right away, I don't think anything but one track is going in there that I think is just irredeemably bad. And we will burn that bridge when we come to it. And then below that, we have the Sokol tier, and we can actually go ahead and put Sokol into the Sokol tier now because it was a track that was planned to be raced on for the first time this year, and it was not possible due to flooding in Kazakhstan. Personally, I'm very disappointed by this. I've played the track a lot in MotoGP 24, and I find it very, very fun. The long straight into that super tight braking zone in that final section, and then turn 4 where you sort of go up. Wait, is that turn 4 or turn 5? I think turn 5, where you go like up, make the turn, and then come back down just a little bit. That turn looks like so much fun. For a flat track, I think it's about as good as you can get, and I'm super excited to see them race on it whenever that ends up happening. But for now, we have to put it in the Sokol tier. Alrighty, let's get into it and pull the first track out of the hat. Silverstone. This is my dad's favorite track, and I'll be honest, I've never really understood the hype. I can understand and appreciate the historical significance, and it does produce some good racing, but honestly, it's just a track. There's not a section that I think is particularly great. Even Maggots and Beckett's, which is like super iconic, for whatever reason just doesn't click with me. Maybe that final section coming off the back straight, is that the Hamilton straight? Coming off that straight into that corner. There's been some good moves there, but really, I'm just gonna have to put this in a track. It just doesn't resonate with me the same way that it resonates with other people. Silverstone, it's not you. it's me. By the way, everything in this video is just my opinion. I'm not here to tell you how to think, I'm just here to tell you that you're wrong, and I'm right. All right, next track up. Misano. I'm a little upset that we got it so early. Misano sucks. So for those who don't know, MotoGP runs Misano backwards. The reason being, Wayne Rainey, who is an American legend of the sport, unfortunately had a terrible crash in a race in Misano in 1993 that left him paralyzed from the waist down. After that, because he was such a beloved figure, MotoGP vowed to never return to Misano. Then, along comes the most marketable person in the history of the sport, Valentino Rossi, and they go, oh my god, we should have another race in Italy. Let's reopen Misano, but run it backwards, the way that it's not meant to be run. Obviously, the track wasn't designed to be run like this. It leads to a clunky, hard to overtake on track that has a total of 2 good corners, one of which isn't even good. It's just known for being fast. And it just sucks. The corners don't have any runoff. They don't have a proper exit. The lines just end up being weird. It's hard to overtake. The last section is full of just awkward clunkiness because any overtake you make is a weird last-ditch effort that's probably going to end up in someone falling off the bike. It's why you get things like the finale of the Moto3 race this year at Emilia-Romagna, or Enea Bastianini pushing Martin wide. It leads to bad racing, and quite frankly, if they were going to go back anyway, why even make the half-assed attempt at honoring Wayne Rainey's memory? If you're going to stay away, stay away. If you're going to go back, why are you actively hindering yourself? Misano goes in the Honda HRC 2024 tier. I need to speed this up. Next track. Chang. Chang is literally a track. It rains sometimes. There's that like turn 3, 4, 5 section is really cool coming off the back straight. Turn 3 is a nice corner coming off the straight, and then you go straight into like a really fast turn 4 and then into turn 5. I like that whole complex. But other than that, it's very much just a track. It rains there, which is wet weather races make things interesting, but other than that, I don't have much to say. It is a track. Red Bull Ring. The Red Bull Ring is cool. The Red Bull Ring is basically known for being short and having super heavy braking zones. It has produced historically some very good races. Obviously, 2021 Austrian Grand Prix, one of the best modern MotoGP races ever. Incredible dramatic finish. You can find the end of that race on YouTube on MotoGP's channel. It's beautiful, go watch it. But realistically, I mean, it's got the good gimmick of being a super heavy braking track, but really there's another track that has super heavy braking that I like more personally. And honestly, this one is, you know, I think it's above average. I do like it. I think it produces good racing, but it's like at the bottom of above average for me. Alrighty, let's see what else we got here. Jerez. I don't think people are gonna like my opinion on this one. Jerez is actually no. Jerez consistently produces good races. Jerez actually does consistently produce good races. Maybe I'm biased because I don't know. Maybe I'm having a little bias because of like the World Superbike finale happening there this year, and like the WCR finale and the Supersport 300 finale were both super good. But like there have been very good Jerez races. 1996 in particular comes to mind, and it's got some good corners. I really like the entire last section. It's produced some great drama. Obviously, Jorge Lorenzo getting owned in his own corner the day that they named it after him is iconic. So, you know, I'm going to put this one above average. I thought I was going to put it in A track, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think it's an above average track. But it really doesn't speak to me the way some other ones do, which I think is going to be unpopular because I know people like this. The UFO is cool though. Let's see what else we have. I just wrote Phillip instead of Phillip Island. Phillip Island. I don't think there's much discussion here. Phillip Island is going to be our first entry in the Stefan Bradl tier. It is beautiful, picturesque. It is the most like gorgeous looking track, and it's just so perfect. It's got everything. It's got these wide sweeping corners. It's got a nice slow corner, the Miller corner you've got, and then obviously Lukey Heights, just like one of the best corners. That elevation change, oh my god, like we just saw it used to its fullest potential in Moto 2 this year. It is a track that always produces fantastic racing. Even this year in MotoGP, when the racing has been less than ideal most times, still a fantastic Phillip Island race. It's like it was just perfectly designed to be a fantastic MotoGP track, which is why it was designed. So good job to whoever designed it. I'll look it up. I don't think there's going to be much debate. Phillip Island is a Stefan Bradl tier track. Sepang. I like Sepang. Sepang's a good track. I would say Sepang is above average. I like the long double straight. I like the negative, what is it? Negative camber, turn 15, I think. Super fun stuff. The whole first sector is very nice. I like turns. That turn 1, 2, 3 complex is super cool. Got a nice chicane. And of course, it's just produced some great racing in the past. For me, it's above average. It also helps that I can watch the races live because they're at like midnight or 1 a.m. for me in the United States. So maybe that's boosting it a little bit, but it's my video. I live in a valley and the sun's going down, so we are rapidly losing daylight here. So if the lighting is changing a lot, that's why, and I'm sorry. There's really not much I can do about that. All right, let's see what's up next. Portimao, the roller coaster. Portimao is one of my favorite tracks ever. The elevation change across the entire track is just so much fun. I can't think of like a single corner on this track that I don't like or think is interesting in some way. Every single part of this track is fun to watch and fantastic. I love how in turns 2 and 3, or maybe it's 3 and 4, because I forget if they count the turns weird. I want to say it's turn 3, but like that turn 3 into turn 4 where you can take multiple lines and still be okay is just, it's so fun. And then coming up into turn 5, obviously the elevation change, and then that super long, super fast final turn into a run down the start finish straight. It's a perfect track. It's beautiful. Some of the camera shots of the elevation changes are utterly otherworldly. It, for me personally, is one of my favorite MotoGP tracks, and it has to go in the Stefan Bradl tier. Oh my god, I just spilled my water on myself. Fuck. Whatever, that'll be fine. Stay hydrated. All right, let's see what's next. Coda's cool. I like the hairpin after the straight. I like the elevation change up into turn 1. I like the back and forth changes of direction. The final sector has just never really clicked with me for some reason, but the rest of the track is pretty solid. I wouldn't say it's incredible, but I definitely put it in above average. We need something for the incredible or for the kind of bad tier, because those are looking barren right now. I still don't know how to pronounce this track name. I'm so sorry to all my Indian fans. Bud? It's fine. It's a track. Once again, I like the sharp turn coming off the straight. I like how wide the track is. I think it allows for a variety of lines coming out of there. I don't know the corner numbers off the top of my head, but I really like that like long sweeping turn that comes like down, then it goes back up a little bit, like there's a bit of an elevation change. I'll put it on screen. I like that section quite a bit, but other than that, there's nothing in this track that really calls out to me or that I've ever really clicked with. I'm gonna have to put it in a track. It's just doesn't have anything super unique that I really enjoy, unfortunately. Obviously a super small sample size of actual racing on this track to go off of, but just based on that, it's sort of just okay to me. All right, I think we're a little more than halfway through now. Oh no, I forgot about this one. Oh, 3 is not enough tracks for Bradl tier. Okay, we have Assen. We're gonna have to, okay. Assen is obviously a fantastic track. Every single part of this circuit is wonderful and iconic. The opening section with a series of right-handers into that left-hand hairpin immediately going down the straight is fantastic. The super, super fast sectors 3 and 4, and of course, the final chicane, where we have seen so much good racing happen. Assen, more than any other track besides maybe Phillip Island, just breeds good racing. Like, if you ask what some of the best races of all time are, most people will have a race from Assen in their list, 2017 and 2018 in particular. But seriously, like, you can just pick any race at Assen and it's probably good. Like, it's probably fantastic. It breeds great racing. That being said, there is at least one more track that I do like better. So I'm gonna have to put it in incredible tier. If I have to pick a reason, I would probably just say that it's a lack of elevation change for me. I'm a huge elevation change person, and the complete lack of it in Assen really does drag it down just a couple spots for me. But in terms of just like track design, it is pretty much flawless. There's nothing bad I can say about it, but there is a track that I personally like better. Lusail is kinda bad. Yeah, so like I just mentioned in the Assen section, I'm a huge elevation change person, and Lusail has literally none of that. It is flatter than a pancake, and quite frankly, the racing is like not consistently great. It does have good races, but I feel like a lot of it is overhyped because it's been the season opener for so long. And for me, like, I could easily see how that would drag it up for you, but for me it drags it down because it's kind of just a track to me. Like, it very much gives me the same vibes as like Jerez, except I feel like it's a lot more repetitive. I feel like it's a very repetitive circuit. It doesn't have any super unique design elements, and it's the season opener, which just makes it kind of boring and a bit of a letdown for me. I'm very excited to start the season in Chang next year instead. I do think it's an improvement. Obviously, I'd rather see, you know, one of the other tracks, but regardless, for me, Lusail is kinda bad. I love how I was like, oh, I have so many hot takes, and then everything is just like a track. Here we go. Catalunya, the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, is my favorite track. That's right, Catalunya is my favorite track on the calendar. I think this track is perfect. I think it consistently breeds dramatic racing. Literally every single year at Catalunya has something weird or dramatic happen, without exception. It is fantastic racing. So like this year, you had 3 separate people crash out of the lead, which is ridiculous. Last year, you had that insane crash at the start. 2022 and 21, one of those years was when Quartararo's leathers came unzipped and he ended up like falling out of second place because of it. And the other one was the year when Espargaro thought that the race was over. And then you've got, going further back, you've got stuff like 1998, which is where Max Biaggi, Alex Barros, Tadayuki Okada, and Mick Doohan, why did I forget his name of all people, were in a 4-way fight for the lead, and 2 of them weren't even in the race anymore. It's just so consistently good racing. Incredible. That turn 1, 2, 3 complex where you're coming downhill and spread out, you can take such a wide variety of lines into that turn 1, because if you go wide into turn 1, it puts you on the inside for turn 2, so you can cut back. So you have such a wide variety of lines and attacks going into that opening section. Then you've got the second section where you're climbing up, you're doing a couple of switchbacks, which are very nice, nothing like super big deal though. Then you drop back down and come back up. And the stadium section, oh man, the stadium section in Catalunya is perfect. It's such a fantastic, well-flowing, great end to the race. Turn 10 in particular is just chef's kiss. I know it's probably not the popular opinion. I know some people probably don't like Catalunya very much, but for me, Catalunya is S tier. Stefan Bradl tier racetrack. All right, let's keep going. Valencia, which people have told me is the proper way to pronounce it. I actually speak a little bit of Spanish, but it's like South American Spanish. So normally I'd pronounce it like Valencia, but apparently in Spain it's more like the C is more like a TH as opposed to like an S sound in English, so it'd be more like Valencia or Valencia, whereas I would say it like Valencia. So, you know. That's cool. Thank you to everyone who pointed that out. Valencia is weird because like Valencia has good racing, but only because it's the season finale. I think that Valencia on its own is actually kind of bad. Like I really don't like very much at Valencia. The last turn, like that wide sweeping corner straight into that last turn is fantastic. Same thing with the very first turn, but other than that, it's sort of just kind of boring to me. I couldn't really tell you why, but other than that one little section, it's just never been the most interesting track to me. But because it's been the finale for so long and it's sort of inseparable from that identity, I'm gonna have to move it up to a track. But really, it would not be my first, second, third, probably not even like a top 7 or 8 choice for me if it wasn't tradition to hold the last round there. Of course, I do love it because it is tradition to hold the last round there, and I wouldn't change that. But for me personally, the actual track itself, I don't think is that great. There's sections of it that I love, but as a whole, it's a track. Alrighty, we're getting down to the last few. What? Wait, I'm missing like a lot. Wait, how am I missing so many? Alright, well, I'm missing some. Mugello. People are gonna hate me for this, man. Mugello's a track. It's... Actually, no. Mugello's above average. Yeah, Mugello's above average. I like Mugello. I don't know why I'm such a hater. I actually do really like it. Obviously, it's got the longest, the fastest straight on the circuit. The speed records in MotoGP are set at Mugello into that first corner, which brings you uphill, which is great, actually. Actually, the more I think about it, the more I really like this track. I would say, like, one thing I don't like is the first sector is a little bit repetitive, but then dropping down that hill into that sweeping corner up, it's pretty good, actually. It's very good. Mugello's a good track. Obviously, you've got Arrabbiata 1 and 2, and then those last few corners, oh man, there have been some iconic battles there. Mugello's a good track. Yeah, I was originally gonna just call it like a track, but like I've talked myself into like it being a very, very good track. I'm gonna put it at the top of above average, maybe even the bottom of incredible. Okay, so I've got 5 tracks left down there, but I've only got 2. This is Sokol, by the way, so I only have 1 left in the hat. Did I forget to write some? I must have. We've got Termas, the Argentinian circuit. Yeah, man, this is a track. Really, it is forgettable to me. It truly is. I can't think of a really properly iconic section on it right now. Truly, I haven't watched a full race on this track in a long time. Yeah, I really should go back. It is genuinely, it's just a track to me. Yeah, I'm completely blanking right now. I can't think of like a solid section that I like from this track. I can't think of a particularly great racing moment. There've been like some weird moments there. I'm just gonna put it in a track. It is just a little forgettable to me. It's not something that makes me feel good or bad when I see it on the calendar. It's just something. It is, you know, in South America, which is cool because I love that MotoGP is a worldwide sport, but location alone is not enough to move me in any regard. I mean, unless you put like a track on like Mount Everest or something, like an actual like mountainside track. But yeah, it's a nice looking track, but do I think it's like it's just forgettable? I'm sorry. It's going in a track. All right, we've got 4 left. Did I? I swear I wrote all the tracks. Did I forget to put them all in the hat? Are some of them over here still? No. Where'd they go? Okay, well, I'm just gonna go in order of what's left. I can see that we've got Le Mans down there. Let's talk about Le Mans. Le Mans is it's a good track. It's a very good track. I think the first like half of the lap is very solid, and then the second half becomes very average. That opening straight, the opening King straight down Dunlop chicane is beautiful, textbook, the scene of many an iconic moment and many a dramatic crash over the years. Obviously, this track means so much more to the racing world than just MotoGP. As a MotoGP track though, I would say it's above average. I think that first section is very, very solid. After that, I do think it falls off quite a bit and it becomes a very average track, but it's enough to put it just above the A track tier and into the above average tier for me. All right, then spoilers for the rest of this list. We're just going to be filling out the incredible tier. I think all three of these tracks are incredible tracks for different reasons. Let's start with Mandalika. Mandalika is a fantastic track with a lot of variety. It has these big sweeping corners. It has this section that's like, it's sort of like these weird like 45-degree like corners that go back and forth. It's not like anything else. It always produces good racing, and turns 15 to 16. Oh man, those hit like crack. There's nothing else like that on the calendar. It is such a wonderful little piece of track design. Without that corner, it would probably only be an above average track, but that corner right there it might be my favorite one on the calendar. I mean, it is just absolutely perfect. And to top it all off, it's in an absolutely beautiful location, second only to Phillip Island in terms of just viewing quality. Like you look at it, especially the one, what turn is that? Is it like turn 5 or turn 6 where they turn down, there's a shot and you just see the ocean, like the full ocean in the background, like the riders are riding at you and like you could see the waves crashing up. Oh my God, it's beautiful. I would love to go there. And I know that I haven't talked about the fans very much, but the fan atmosphere there is fantastic. The fans are just wonderful there, which, I mean, you know, I'm not necessarily taking it into account, but it adds to the overall atmosphere. Overall, an incredible track. Motegi. Back at the very start of this video, I said that there was a track that I thought was a better heavy braking track than the Red Bull Ring. We're here now. It is the Twin Rings Motegi. Motegi is not really like any other track. It has 4 or 5 incredibly long straights and just super heavy braking throughout, but it still manages to find a lot of variety. You have some slight elevation changes, some good chicanes, a good corner variety, and the racing's always fantastic. Couple that with a constant chance of rain, and it being sort of near the end of the season, so it's been the title decider multiple times, you've got a recipe for a fantastic track. Overall, I would consider Motegi to be an incredible track. Damn near with a case to be a Stefan Bradl tier. Finally, the last track today, the Saxon Ring. The Saxon Ring is the shortest track on the calendar, and it somehow manages to incorporate like everything that you would want out of a MotoGP track. It's got incredible elevation changes. It's got smooth corners, slow corners, heavy braking, wide sweeping corners. It's got overtaking opportunities. It's got switchbacks. It manages to be just utterly fantastic in its super short lap, and it just condenses everything great about a MotoGP track into a small package. It is an incredible track, and I love it. It also consistently produces great races. The races here are always phenomenal, so I'm putting the Saxon Ring in the incredible tier. Alrighty, there's the tier list in order. It's up on the screen right now. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. These were my takes. I'm sorry about the lighting. I know it got drastically different. If you skip back to the start of the video now, it'll look way different. Nothing I can do to control the sun yet. Regardless, thank you for watching the video. Leave a like if you liked, subscribe if you want more. And yeah, that's all from me. Let me know what you want to see me do. Let me know what you want to see me talk about. Remember to take your trash out and have a fantastic day.